Hey guys, it's Aaron back with another review for you. Today I'm going to be talking about the film Black Hawk Down. So I got my notes, let's dive right in. It was released in January 18th of 2002, directed by Ridley Scott, and this is an ensemble cast, so we got a lot of names for you, but I will list them off and I'll give you a couple fun facts with some of them. So we got Josh Hartnett, Sam Shepard, Eric Bana, Tom Sizemore, Jason Isaacs, Ewan McGregor, Ewan Brimmer, Tom Hardy in his first ever role. He was actually listed as Thomas Hardy. William Fichtner, Gabriel Cassius, Kim Coates, Hugh Dancy, Ron Elder, Danny Hoch, Brian Van Holt, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, and Jeremy Piven. So for some of those names, they might have sounded a little familiar, but you're not sure exactly where. So I'll go back and help you out with a couple of them here. Nikolaj Coster-Waldau is the first one that jumps off at me, and some of you might know him as the character Jaime Lannister in the hit series Game of Thrones. Yes, this was an early role for him, but that's who it is. Josh Hartnett, Pearl Harbor, 40 Days, 40 Nights, all kinds of stuff. He was a heartthrob around this time. Ewan McGregor, for those of you, my big Star Wars nerds like me out there, we got Obi-Wan Kenobi from episodes 1 through 3, Star Wars, and he's also in the series Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+. Kim Coates, if I got any Sons of Anarchy fans out there like myself, he is Alexander Tig Traeger on Sons of Anarchy. And then, like I said, there's just Brian Van Holt was also on Sons of Anarchy. He was Kyle, the ex-member. So, like I said, just all kinds of people that are just in this. Another fun fact, there's not too many females in this, as you would expect from a war film of this size, at least in the time period. But the woman that is in the film, for a brief second, she does the phone call, is actually Ridley Scott's wife in real life. He got his wife for that role. So I'm sorry, but yeah. So that's the cast for you. It's a great cast. Like I said, a bunch of people. But anyway, it is based on, of course, it's based on the real life event that happened, Black Hawk Down. But specifically, this film was taken and looked at through the perspective of a book based by Mark Bowden. It's based on his book. I have not read it, but I think it does the book and the real life event justice, but I think it follows the book just a little bit more than it does maybe the real life event. But the plot is, in 1993, civil war in Somalia was breaking out, and peacekeepers were there trying to help the innocent and the victims and all that. But when they left, the warlord Mohammed Farah Aidid declared war on the left, the ones that were still there, and the rest of the civilians. So the U.S. Delta Force and Rangers go in to take them out. That is basically, the plot of the film, and that's kind of where we're at. So I'm just going to come out and say it. The film is incredible. I saw it when I was very young. For the first time, I was probably only like 8 or 9. My parents were always really cool about that. They knew when to kind of shield our eyes and things like that. But yeah, I remember liking it then, but I caught it on HBO a couple months ago. Hadn't seen it since then, basically. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll check it out again, and just fell in love with this because I'm older now. I was able to appreciate it a lot more. I was able to appreciate the acting and the everything as far as the film goes with it. But then also I was able to appreciate more of the sacrifices that the soldiers did. And let me tell you, at the end of this film, when they're running to the mutual like peacekeeping area, they're tired, man, and you can feel it. They're this is Somalia in Africa, so it's hot out. They have been out on this mission. I think it ended up being like a 3 or 4 day just straight mission nonstop, and man, they're tired. They're tired, buddy, and it really shows. All the actors just do a great job. Um, you know, the only actor that I really can't praise is Ewan McGregor, and I don't know if it's his fault because his character is supposed to be comic relief, and it's, for me, in a film like this where serious things are happening and you have comic relief, it's fine, but you have to do it well. And it's just not done well. I don't know if that is Ewan McGregor's fault or it was the direction he was given or the writing. I don't know, but something about his character specifically just doesn't really gel with me. And you guys may see it differently. I don't know, but that's just, kind of how I felt about it. But other than that, the acting's incredible. Um, Eric Bana's Hoot, he's amazing. Sam Shepard, as always, just crushes it. You know, like I said, the Tom Sizemore. I mean, the whole caliber. Josh Hartnett, I think, really proved. You know, like I'm not just this pretty boy rom com kind of guy. He's but it worked in that because he's very mild mannered and he's very compassionate to his men. He's the leader of this group, and he does a really good job. And I think the casting director and Ridley Scott, I think, did a really good job of finding all these people. You know. And like I said, as far as Ewan McGregor goes, I don't know if that was Ewan McGregor or if it was the writing. I don't know. Somebody, you know what I mean? If it was Josh Hartnett, hypothetically, it might not have been as good. I don't know. I don't know. But as far as the villains go in the film, it's really just the Somalian militia. Really, I mean, Muhammad Farah Aidid is in reality the true bad guy. He was a real man. He was a real warlord and all that. But we never actually see him. It's mostly just foot soldiers and things like that. They do capture a man in the very beginning who was a bad guy, but the only real other villain outside of, like I said, there's all kind of foot soldiers and they're all just guns for hire, really. Um, and unfortunately, this is warlord Somalia, and they use kids and children, and it's horrible. So they're this poverty-stricken area. I'm sure they were promised, all kinds of great things if they helped, and it's just horrible as you would expect. The only other there is a general we see from the beginning to the end of the film. I guess you could classify him as the bad, like the villain. I mean, they all are, but he's the only one that's really give it a little more personality than the rest of the guys. And like when you see him, you're always like, "Oh, that's son of a bitch." But that's like I said, the bad guys. It's not really like a known bad guy, which is fine. It works fine. There is an alternate ending in the film that I did not know till I watched it on TV and I started researching a little more. And I think the alternate ending should have been in the film. I really think it should have been the theatrical release. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's just this really. You can find it on YouTube. Just type in Black Hawk Down alternate ending. Um, uh, the film ends originally, and then there's just an extra 30 seconds to a minute for the alternate ending. It picks right up after the film's ending. And I actually think it probably should have been the ending. It's fine without it because I love the film. Like I said, I didn't even know it existed until I saw it on TV and started researching it. But yeah, there is an alternate ending, like I said, and it's great. So if you watch the film, and I highly recommend it, it's rated R, so there's a lot of, I mean, cussing, is one thing in every rated R film, but it's violent. There's a lot, I mean, you'd expect a war film, but it's very graphic violent. There's a lot of blood and guts going everywhere. So, if it's something that bothers you, you may not want to check it out, but if you can stomach it, I definitely recommend it. It's a really, really great film. Everyone in it, like I said, it's very well done, and I definitely recommend it. And if you can catch it, if you've already seen it, even let me know in the comments what you think. Like I said, I love it. I can't recommend it enough. But that's basically it for you. I overall I'd give it a 9 out of 10 just because, like I said, it's so incredible. I took a little bit off because I did read and there were some inaccuracies, and I don't really know why. Because sometimes they change things in films and it makes sense. This one, some of the things they changed, it didn't really make sense. It didn't really add anything to it. It didn't take away either, but it didn't really add anything to it. So, take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But no, like I said, that's my review, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until then, I will be back with another one. Like and subscribe and tell your friends. Alrighty, guys. Take it easy.